I'm Laura from Hair Hardware, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this loopy puff bow. This bow is really easy to make. All that you need for it is an alligator clip, a couple felt circles. These are 1.5 inch in diameter. You'll need a needle and thread, and make sure when you thread your needle that you get a nice big knot at the end, and you'll see why in a couple minutes. And then you're also going to need 3/8 of an inch ribbon. That's the size that I used for this bow, but you can also use 1/4 inch ribbon. You could use satin ribbon. You can really, there's a lot that you can do with this kind of bow. For this bow, I'm using 6 yards. I picked 6 different patterns. I have 3 dot prints that I got from my kits that I got from Hair Hardware with the solid and the dot grosgrain ribbon. I'm using 3 dot print grosgrains and then 3 solid grosgrain ribbons. And each one of these I cut to 1 yard in length to start. The first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut your ribbon into small strips. And this bow, I cut them into 4-inch strips. You can make yours bigger or smaller, but I want this bow that I'm going to make to match this one. So I'm going to take my 3/8 ribbon and I'm just going to cut each piece into 4 inches. And I'm just cutting through a few at a time. What's really great about making these bows, I don't know if you've ever made corker bows before, those you have to heat seal the ends of the ribbon, which is very time consuming. And with this kind of bow, you don't need to heat seal the ends because they're going to be glued down and concealed, which really makes making this bow go a lot quicker. So whatever ribbons you're going to use, just go ahead and cut them into 4-inch length pieces. That's what I'm using for this bow. You don't even have to be exact with this either. Just close works well. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the ribbon and I've cut each color into 4-inch strips, and I've sorted them by color, and I also put them in the pattern that I want them to be on the bow. Now this bow I didn't use a pattern for. I just kind of randomly picked up the ribbons that I had in a big pile in front of me, and it made everything was pretty evenly dispersed. You can put these however you want them to be. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just whatever you want. You can even throw in some accent pieces of some sheer ribbon or like some double ruffle ribbon that would look really cute. But I'm going to, for this bow that I'm going to show you, I'm going to keep the same pattern as I stack the pieces of ribbon on the needle. So I have this needle. I prefer to use a long needle for something like this, but you really don't need to. You can use a normal size looking needle as well. But what I did do, I don't know if you can see that on there against the blue background, is I made a really thick knot. I think I knotted that about 3 or 4 times, because just like when you make corkers and other kinds of bows where you stack ribbon onto the thread, you don't want the thread to pull straight through. So I have a nice good knot at the end there. So to get started, what you're going to do is you're going to take your first piece you're going to start with, and then you just fold it in half, line up the ends, and then you just pierce it through your needle like that. And I keep it on the needle while I'm working. You could pull it through onto the thread if you would like. We will do that step in a minute after I get these all on here. But this part is just taking the piece of ribbon, folding it in half, and just piercing it right through. So you start getting loops that I'm just keeping on the needle. Just keep stacking them on there. Just keep going until you have the number that you want. This bow is using a total of 6 yards of ribbon. Okay, so I'm almost done here stacking them on. So you can see I've stacked almost all of the pieces on. Right now they're just all sitting on the needle right here. And I'll just do these last 6 that they just fold in half I leave about 1/4 of an inch at the end just to make sure that they don't come off the needle. Don't want to get too close to that edge. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pieces and slide them off the needle. And they're going to be all on this piece of thread now that I'm going to pull through to where I have my knot at the end here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the needle off now so it's not in the way. You're going to take your 2 pieces of thread and you're just going to knot them. You're going to bring it together like this. That will give you your puffy look to the bow. Okay, so now you're going to want to do a nice tight knot at the end here. Just tie those 2 pieces together. Probably you'll want a triple, maybe even quadruple knot at the end there. You want to make sure that does not come apart. So once you get that knotted, you can trim it. And now you can turn it around, and this is where you can fluff it. Kind of arrange it a little, so make sure you get a nice round look to the bow. Now the underneath part right here has all your ends that you're going to want to cover. So you're going to do that with a felt circle. For a bow this size, I would use a 1.5 inch felt circle that you're just going to glue right onto the end. It's going to cover any unfinished pieces. So just take your glue gun, put a nice generous blob right on there, and then you put the felt circle right on top like that. That finishes off the back. Okay, so now to attach it to your alligator clip. This one I did not line the alligator clip. I just used a second felt circle to sandwich it in there and to hold the alligator clip on. So to attach the alligator clip, you're going to add a little bit of glue to the top of a second felt circle, pinch open the alligator clip, and put it right inside the felt circle like that. So you can still open and close it, just the alligator clip is attached to the underneath of the top prong. And then once you do that, cover the entire top of the alligator clip with hot glue, and then you can stick it right on top of the other felt circle you used to cover the back. Just press it on there, give it a second to cool down and adhere, and then you are done and you have finished a loopy poof bow. Looks really cute with pigtails. You can make them in different sizes and different combinations, and we have a lot of 3/8 print kits at Hair Hardware that have lots of different 3/8 combinations that look really, really cute with these bows, and you only need a couple inches of each one. You can do mostly solids and then just throw in a few prints for some accent pieces. So you can really do a lot with these. Lots of school color, match outfits, uniforms, and things like that. They're really fun and easy to make.